My name is Kayode Omoyosi, and I'm going to be a junior at Case Western Reserve University starting in August. My current major is biomedical engineering with a concentration in polymeric biomaterials.
And how you plan to apply this to your career or life after you've graduated?
Well, how I plan to apply this to my life is, see, in high school I made this promise to take over the world. And while I was slightly joking about that, there's a hint of it that was actually serious.
Hmm.
And to do this was like, I wanted to go into making medical technology and devices, which it really did seem like an interesting field to me. Because for me, the ultimate goal is to make, well, it's not really to make like an autonomous prosthetic. It's like to work with a group of people talented enough to like make this vision reality. And this vision is like, you know how when people lose limbs and stuff like hands, fingers, toes, and you can't really find the part or stitch it back on, then they'll just have they'll be missing. So instead of that, what I wanted to do was to make prosthetics that you could actually link up to nerve endings that are still existing in the hand, so that you could actually control them as you would your normal fingers, which requires not just knowledge of materials and alloys and structures, but of how the body works in general, things like that. And it's really complex, and I could really go on about this for a long time, so I won't.
But it's very interesting. What is diversity like at Case Western? Is it a diverse campus?
Alright, the breakup is majority is white people, closely followed by Asian, and then you have a small portion of black people, like black Americans, and then like another subgroup of that are people from Africa, like actual African Americans.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, do you feel like it's easy for people to form communities at Case Western and ethnic groups and different religions and nationalities? Is it easy for them to kind of form communities at the university, or is it not so easy? Are they able to form groups, social groups, clubs, connect?
I mean, there are like clubs and organizations dedicated to different cultural groups and different religions, and there are even interest groups, interest sororities, like an Asian interest sorority, no, an Indian interest sorority as well. Well, no, fraternities, my bad. Since even though they're co-ed, they're technically fraternities, but there are lots of clubs, like people of Hispanic origin or people that support them. It's called La Alianza. There's a club for African American students, Afro-American Society. There's a group specifically for the African subgroup called the African Student Association. Although originally it used to be one with the African American Society, but there's a lot of drama, and it's even now it's still not resolved. It's not important anyways. There's the Korean Student Association, Korean, Japanese, and Chinese student associations.
Okay, so they're involved, but these groups and these intersororities and fraternities, they're very heavily involved with campus life.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what would you say is the best thing about Case Western, and maybe something they need to improve on?
I definitely think the best thing about it is the fact that it's a research university, and so it's really easy to get a position in a lab with experienced professors that are actually working on, with professors that are working on legitimately interesting stuff and are usually able to, appropriate a little bit of their funding towards paying qualified lab assistants. And the part that could use improvement, although it is getting better, is definitely the social aspect, because up until recently it was really heavily stereotypical nerd sort of place where you've got your antisocial geeks and all that with the smattering of weird but generally what society considers normal people, the ones with social skills and all. That's rapidly changing, because it's like with each new class of freshmen, it's like a larger population. Not only is it a larger population of people, but more and more of them are what you would call well-adjusted, normal people. And so that because of that, the whole social aspect is definitely getting better. Although it could use a little bit of work.
And why did you select Case Western?
Well, I selected it because it was one of the top schools in the nation in terms of biomedical engineering. Like their biomedical engineering program is like it's really well established. It's been around for a while, and it's a good program. They gave me a lot of money, and yeah, that's about it. Oh, no, and I also have family that live in the area. That lives in the area. Like my uncle lives 15 minutes away from campus. He used to work at NASA as his title escapes me. Sorry, but he was actually an alumnus of Case Western, so that was really a big factor in it because he would tell me stories about how his experiences on campus were, and they were generally interesting, although peppered with strange situations that even now I don't quite believe are true, but he says they're true. That's what matters.
And my last question for you is, you obviously had an uncle who helped you, encouraged you with Case Western. There was also a lot of scholarships and grants that were available to you. But one thing that the website that we work for, Minority Recruit Online, is a site that is designed to help high school students understand the admissions process and find a diversity-friendly college. College students find a diversity-friendly co-op or internship. Will something like this have been very helpful maybe in high school or college right now? I mean, is this a website that you see is relevant, it's important? What do you think about its use?
I definitely think it's very relevant because most high schools don't really, and colleges, they don't really push like the fact that there are opportunities, like opportunities to get information about how these things work for minorities. Like some schools have offices devoted to that stuff. Like for instance, Case does have an office of Minority Affairs that helps out with that sort of stuff, but like some people just don't really look into it because sometimes they're not aware of it, but it's definitely still a really important thing, like getting the information out there, especially to a minority audience, because like sometimes, like I said before, there just simply aren't those resources to let you know what's out there.